Hi, Gary Chillingworth here for Airgun World magazine, Shooting and Country TV. Welcome to Life at the Range. Apologies for the fact that the video is a day late, but we did film yesterday and we did get the video done, but it was rubbish. I got so many things wrong. Luckily I sent some information off to Jason Lockett, a good friend of mine who's a bench rest shooter, which is what we're doing today. And he said, yeah, you messed up the scoring, you messed up a couple of other bits. Now, I could have edited my way around it, but to be perfectly honest with you, I would rather re-record the video, be a day late, and make sure that everything is more correct than it should be. So what are we doing today? Well, today we are looking at part one of a three-part series, all on bench rest shooting. Now, bench rest is an amazingly complicated and fun type of sport. It can be shot at events. You can go away and you can shoot a bit like HFT and FT, but also it can be done postally. You can do it at home and you can post your cards in. A great place for information is benchrestuk.com. They supply all of the targets and things like that we're going to be using, but we'll be more on about them in a minute. And also places like Airability on YouTube. That's Matthew Gleaves' website, and what he doesn't know about bench resting isn't really worth knowing. So what are we going to be doing over our three videos? Well, bench rest can be an expensive sport. They use these coaxial rests at the front where you rest your gun at the front and you use a lever to adjust it, and you sit behind the gun, and the only time you ever really touch the gun is with your finger to pull the trigger. The rest of the body doesn't rest on the rifle, and they have specific rifles for doing that. But I assume you don't want to go out and spend $1,000 on a rest and £300 on a backrest and a couple of grand for a stock or whatever it costs just to have a go. So most people are going to be doing bench rest from home, and that is what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be using our home kit to have a go at bench rest. Part two of the series, we'll be meeting up with Jason Lockett, and now he's got all the kit, and he will be looking at what we've done. He'll be looking at our scores of today, and then he will be showing us how the proper kit can affect the way you shoot. And then the third video will just be a giggle. It'll be me versus Jason in a smackdown. I know Jason doesn't actually know we're doing that yet, but he's always up for a laugh. But yeah, so that's what we're going to do. So it's going to be 3 videos coming up over the next 2 to 3 months, and we're going to be looking at all things to do with bench rest. Hope you enjoy it. Okay, so let's look at the kit we're going to be using today. Now, some of you who've been following the channel will recognise this rifle. It's the BRK Ghost. Today we've got it fitted with the MTC King Cobra. Now the reason we've gone for the King Cobra is it will go up to 32 times magnification. Now I did speak to Jason, and he told me that most bench rest shooters shoot around about 40 times. But I've noticed that on the sandbags we've got, if I set this up to 32, I can really feel the pulse because I've got to put my hand and my face on the gun to set it up. So I've racked it down to 20, and for me, because I'm used to shooting 15mm targets in HFT, I think I stand a fair chance of hitting something. We're not going to be good. Trust me on this, we're not going to be putting in lots of good scores. So I did shoot yesterday, and this sport is harder than it looks. Now, we're not going to go out and buy a coaxial rest. What we're going to do is we're going to use these sandbags. Now, I bought this one off of eBay for £6.95 and I filled it up, well, front bag, rear bag, £6.95 for the pair, and I filled it up and it took pretty much 4 kilos of easy cooked long grain rice. Couple of things, if you are filling up your bags with rice on the outside, don't leave any sort of uncooked grains of rice knocking around, because the birds eat them, it swells up in the stomach and it kills them. So be careful what you do with the rice. So we've got a bean bag, front and rear, we've got a gun, we've got a great scope, but what are we going to shoot? Well, this is a target. Now, these come from benchrestuk.com, and Graham Freeman has been absolutely superb. Now, for those of you who don't know Graham is a bench rest shooter. He's a world champion, European champion, chief cook, bottle washer, helps run all the organisation, runs all the shoots, supplies all the kit, backstops for these, you name it, he does it. So go to benchrestuk.com. They don't just sell stuff, they give you loads of information about bench rest as well. But how do you score in bench rest? What are we aiming for? Well, as you can see, we've got these little red ones. Now, these are markers. Now, if you're in a bench rest competition, you've got 25 targets and you've got 20 minutes to shoot them. You can shoot as many sighters and that during the comp or before, you know, as you wish. And they score that. If you look on the very inside, we'll put a close-up picture. You see this really tiny dot in the middle? That's what you're aiming to hit. Now, if you break the line of that tiny dot in the middle, or even if you're shooting 177, you get fractionally just outside of it, because they class everything as a 2-2, so they give you a fair amount of variance. That will score you a 10, so you've got to break that line. If you completely obliterate that tiny, tiny circle so you can't see any of it, you score an X. So on one card, you can score 250 points and 25 X's. I think most competitions shoot 4 cards, so that's 1,000 points and 100 X's if you shot a perfect score. 10, then the next line out, the bigger one, that's a 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, and obviously if you miss, you get nothing like that. And you always score up. So even if you're, let's say you're in that 7 and you've got a big hole there, but you just nick the line, then that class is an 8. So you always score up in bench rest. But you've got 25 targets on these, plus the other bits. That is your competition card. These cost 30p each at benchrestuk.com. But what is more fun are these. These are practice cards. Now, these are brilliant. They're made from like 600 or 900 GSM. Tie me kangaroo down. Actually, I better not do that. Yeah, they're really thick and they really show up well when you shoot them. I'm going to start getting these for HFT practice, because you've got what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. You've got 15 across the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 times 15, that's 195. So you've got 195 individual dots. So if you're an HFT shooter and you want to practice your 15 mils and see if you're coming inside, outside, whatever, 195 dots for 30p. So 2 of them, and that's pretty much an entire tin of pellets. So that'll cover an entire tin of pellets. Yeah, these are cracking. So I'm going to be ordering an absolute shed ton of these. So yeah, benchrestuk.com. So that's enough waffle. We're going to put one of these targets out downrange, 25 yards. Bench rest can be shot at 25 and 50 with an air gun. I don't know if you can hear it, but we've got wind today. We didn't have any yesterday and I shot quite well, but we've got wind today. So we're going to put a target out, we're going to see how it goes, and then we're going to do some shooting. So we'll start off on the practice thing first. We'll shoot a line, and then what we'll do is we'll actually shoot a formal card. We'll see how we go and what we score. So there you go. Bench rest from the home. I'm going to hobble down there because the knee is still busted, and I hope you enjoy the video. Okay, so we've got our target set out downrange, 25 metre or 25 yards. Got our beanbag. We'll go at the back. We're going to go the top line. Right, so one thing I did do is I did weigh the pellets, and the wind is really picking up now. Now the gun is zeroed, so let's just see. We're going to shoot straight at it, and let's just see if the wind does anything to it, because the wind feels like it's coming from behind. Okay, so that's slightly high and left. If we were scoring in bench rest, that would score a 9, because we're hitting that outer ring. Okay, so let's see if we can get a bit more comfortable. Okay, that will be a 10. I aimed a bit low because we do have wind coming from the rear, which is pushing the pellet up. So we're going to aim slightly low, just below that central circle. Tell you what, every time I shoot this BRK Ghost, it just really impresses me. Well, I think it was still a 9. It's my hubris. So it really impresses me. So the gun goes, yeah, I'm going to punish you now for saying that. Do you know what, that was because I was getting cocky. Got down on the gun, thought, ah, that's fine, I'm in, it's not a problem. Didn't really think about it. Okay, still think that was a 10. We will get the card and bring it back and we'll have a chat about it. Okay, I think that wind might have changed. Okay, that wind just moved from behind to a little left to right, and I think that is why we came out on the right hand side on that. If you're shooting bench rest, they have wind flags down range which show which way the wind is moving, and that's one of the biggest skills in bench rest. Not just setting up the gun, it's reading the wind. Oh, see, now I can feel it coming on the right hand side. All right. See, went left. I picked up that thing, went out, and it went left to right. But then I felt it coming off my right hand side. So I thought I'll just go down the throat. Got blown outside. That's, you know, that is 100% the wind. All right, so let's go back to what I was doing before. Slightly right hand edge of the tiny little kill zone, slightly low. There we go. See, that was me trying to read the wind and then not listening to what the wind was telling me. Thought, I know better. I clearly didn't. You're going to see seeing a bit more of this gun in competition fairly soon, but I'll tell you about that in a minute. Oh, I like that one. Had the results of the MRI on my knee and my leg. It's not just a perineal nerve that's busted, it's ACL, hamstrings, other bits, meniscus, you name it, it's absolutely mullered. Years of martial arts, never did an injury like that. Stepped off a curb. So it looks like at the HFT World Championships in September, I'm going to be shooting sticks, and I think it's going to be the Ghost that I'm going to be using. Well, it is going to be the Ghost that I'm going to be using. And there we go, a 10 and an X to finish. Right, let's go and get the card, come back and let's have a look at our practice card and see how we feel it's done. So, not bad, BRK Ghost, very happy. Oh, not with my knee though, ow. Oh, bugger, 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 bugger. Oh, it's hard work walking up and down there. Right, so here we have our card. So, first one was a miss. Second one, that would be a 10. 10. If that shot with a 2-2, that might be a 10. 9, that's a 10. That is a 10. That's a 9, a 9, a 10, 9, sorry, no, 10. 10, because you can just about see, actually no, if it was a 2-2, that would be an X. That's an X. That's, I think that might be a 10 or a 9, I'm not sure. And that one is definitely an X. So I don't think that's at all bad. I'm actually really, really happy with that. So I think what we need to do now is we need to shoot a card. So what we'll do is let's go and put a brand new fresh card out. We'll shoot it, and we'll do it as in we were shooting a proper bench rest competition. So we've got 20 minutes. So I've got enough pellets which are weighed, and then let's see how we do. But just using a basic rest and a basic backstop with a home gun, do you know what? I'm genuinely happy about that. This is hard. And right, this is always a difficult thing to say without being horrible about it, and I do apologise. I get emails occasionally from people saying, well, I saw what you did and I tried it and it didn't work. I've been shooting air guns at a competitive level for like 15 years, or more than 15 years. I'm not bad. I sort of know what I'm doing with breathing, trigger control and everything like that. So what I'm trying to say is I'm not trying to big myself up. If you're at home and you have a go, don't get disheartened if you can't bang in good scores straight away. I'm pretty good at this, and there is no reason why you can't be pretty good at this, but I have shot hundreds of thousands of pellets and I've put in the trigger time. So it's not, I'm not trying to brag, I'm just saying, for those of you who want to get into this sport, you need to put in the time, you need to put in the trigger time, and you will get better. There is no doubt, the more time you spend behind the trigger, the better you will get. And I'll tell you what, I'm just thinking about this, I think this could really help with my HFT, because to do this the way I'm doing it, not the proper bench rest way of doing it, but with my head on the gun, my finger on the trigger and everything like that, I've got to think about my breathing and everything the way that I'm doing it. And that is going to transition to when I'm shooting hunter field target or field target or whatever you want to do. So yeah, I actually think this as a practice, if you're an HFT shooter, doing this in your garden, I actually think could be a really good thing to help improve your shooting. But right, enough waffle, the wind's picking up, let's go put a card out. Ow, 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 ow. Okay, so here we are, 25 metres, bench rest card, put them down there, pellets, BRK Ghost, MTC King Cobra set on 20 mag, target from benchrestuk.com. Let's go for it. We're going to shoot a couple of targets first, sorry, a couple of practice targets first. Right, so we want a bit of height there. Right, so let's shoot a practice target. Let's just see where this wind is going from. So if I was in competition, I wouldn't be allowed to talk to you, but also I would be shooting this in 20 minutes. Okay, well that's pretty much going where I thought it would go, so let's just go for it. We might skip through a little bit because I'm sure you just don't want to watch me sitting here for 20 minutes shooting a target. But we'll show every shot, but we might just double the speed. Okay, so slightly pulled left. Now that was strange. When I was doing that, I could actually feel a little bit of the gun was pulsing because obviously my heartbeat, but look at that, I wasn't actually on the bag. See, if you have a proper bench rest table, it's got a cutout that you sit in so that you can actually get the bag in a better position. So let's try and do that so that the bean bags are actually taking the weight of the gun. Okay, that's better. Bench rest shooters shoot with both eyes open. That's so one eye is watching the wind flag and one eye is looking through the scope. That's a very alien concept to me. Well, I definitely think I'm getting a little bit of right to left, which is what the wind is doing. So let's try and pull maybe slightly lower, slightly further to the right. Okay, that was better. One thing I have done, which I didn't mention earlier, is many years ago I used to shoot rim fire for London Underground down at Baker Street with diopter sights. And with a diopter sight, you're meant to have basically it's a circle around the bull. Hang on a sec, give me a sec, I'll be back to you in a sec. Oh, so I'm bouncing again. See, we've now dropped down a level, so I'm having to reset myself. Oh no, I totally pulled that out, so I wasn't comfortable. Oh, see, there's a hole there. Right, hang on. Right, let's try and move the whole bag to the left. That might make it easier. Yeah, and what I used to do is I used to set sorry, I used to set the diopter so that it would touch the top of the essentially the diopter would touch the top of the target there and the side of the target there, as opposed to having an equal circle around that. And what I've done with this is I've set the crosshairs so they're actually not absolutely dead center to the bullseye. I've set it up so they're slightly to the right and low, so that I'm looking in like the top left hand quadrant of the crosshair, if that makes sense. I'll see if I can put a picture up to show you what I'm talking about. So that way I can hold it. I just feel that I can hold it easier. Oh, okay, that feels more comfortable. This is just a standard workbench from Screwfix. I think it cost 50 quid, and there's a gap there, and that's where I was resting in. If any of you out there are bench rest shooters, please tell me in the comments below what I'm doing wrong. Okay, so what we're going to do is for the next 20 shots, I'm not going to talk to you, I'm just going to concentrate on shooting, and then we can like fast forward it through, and then we'll come back and do the final 5. Okay, got an X, got a 10, that's a 9, that's a 9, and that's the wind blew in the box. That's a 9 possible 10. I'll say it was windy today. That's an X, that's a 9, that's a 10, that's a 10 possible X, and that's an X. Okay. We've shot those 10, we've got 5 more to go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see what we can do. So I'm actually quite tired, having the concentration. We seem to be hitting 10s, but getting those X's, that's not easy. So, strangely enough, shooting with both eyes open actually makes it easier, because you're not having to go. So I'm going to fire that one off. Didn't feel very nice when I pushed it into the barrel, into the into the barrel. Right, let's have a go. 2 more. Let's see if we can get an X. Yeah, I think that's an X. Last target. I don't think that's a bad card, actually. Oh, would have been nice to finish with an X. Right, let's go and grab the card and see how we're doing. But yeah, very impressed with that. And yeah, what a gun. Right, put that there. Stay, stay, stay. Okay, so here we have our card. Going on top to bottom, then that is a 9, that is a 10 because it's touching that central bit. 10, X, 10X, 10X. Because even though you can see a tiny bit of that there, as I say, they actually work it on a 2-2, so you get about a millimetre around the outside. So that's pretty good. So that's a what, 49 there. Here we've got, well, we've got a bad one there. We've got a, what, an 8 because you round up. That's a 10, that's a 10, 10X, 10, possibly an X, 10X, 10X, 10, 9, maybe a 10, 10X, definitely a 9, that is a 9, that is a 10X, that is a 10, 10, a 10, a 10, 10X and a 10. So I've worked that out. Today in wind around about 13 mile an hour right to left, we got a 244. Now to put that into comparison, I think at the weekend there was a top competition where Matthew Gleaves in a 40 mile an hour crosswind also scored, I think it was a 246. I know, but 244 off a sandbag made with rice with a gun that's, this would be a light varmint class. Now they've got two classes, they've got light and they've got heavy. Light is anything under, I think it's 10.5 pounds. Heavy is when you've got the big, great big stocks. They weigh about 4.3 tons each. But this will, I think, will class in the light varmint. But yeah, I think it's a 244. Yeah, I'm genuinely happy with that. But what a gun. What a sport. Thoroughly enjoyed that. Well, so the question now is, will using the proper kit, the proper front rest, the proper back rest, setting the gun up properly with the expert tuition of someone like Jason Lockett, using wind flags and things like that, will that help improve my score? And that's what we're going to cover in the next video. That's probably going to be, where are we? August now. That's probably going to be September time. Now we've got the World Championships at Borderswood on, I think it's the 6th and the 7th of September. I'm probably going to be shooting sticks. I just need to decide what scope to put on top of this. It won't be the King Cobra because that's not really rated for HFT. You could use it, but I'm going in shooting a sport I don't really know that well, so I'm probably going to use the scope that I'm used to. And then we'll be back to the bench rest. So I hope you've enjoyed today's video. Let me know what I've got wrong. Let me know what I've got right. Probably not a lot. And let me know if this is something that you think that you might want to have a go at. As I say, they do postal competitions. So if you want to sit at home and you want to shoot and send and still compete and be part of the group, you can. Because as I say, not everybody can get to gun clubs, or you might not have a gun club near, but you might have a bit of land. As ever, please, if you're going to shoot in your garden, make sure you do it legally. Make sure that you've got a decent backstop and that no pellets are leaving your boundary. Make sure that you are compliant with your neighbours and with your laws and the rules of where you are. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and we'll see you all again on the range or in the garden or on the course or wherever it is very, very soon. Take care. Ta-da.